out all bums. Don't bring that weak shit in here.
4, 3, 2, kick it.
Yo, Chico.
Expose these clowns!
Dear God! Bold punch out! It's time for the Freddy Chico show to begin! Open up your ears and listen closer! I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'm gonna give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'm gonna give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I speak for the truth of my people, I will never quit. No fear in my heart, they keep talking while I'm living this. Kneel for the spirit of the fallen, call them Japanese. Them soldiers always raising up our Fifth Street analysts. They lost in the zone of a fatal scene. True facts in the story only carry weight. Keep the grind on your mind each and every day. But don't copy off of mine, eat what's on your plate. Respect the Huey P. and Bobby Seale. Malcolm X and the King, cause the dream is real. What I said, and I mean it all. If you're looking for the real Freddy Chico show, I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show.
Welcome to the Freddy Chico show, where the truth is revealed and never concealed. I have a little glitch here. Want to see if I can fix it. Going the wrong way. Right there. There we go. What's going on, Muhammad? I see you was in there for a second on Instagram, but hello, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Forgot about today. We talked about this Friday. We're going to do this topic. I'm not going to shy away from any topic. Mondays are religious topics, but I'm going to get this timer started. Let everybody know where you're checking in from. Let's go. Derek Thomas, what's going on? We're just trying to get it. All right, hope you're ready. Hope you brace for impact. Got some people that that submitted this topic, and like I said, I got to hold true to my word that I will honor when you submit a topic. I will address it. And again, for the butthurt people, don't want to give you too much of an audience, but a lot of topics are not what I came up with, is what you guys submit. And so it's not a me show, it's a we show. I'm not sure who's that on, if that's Akash on there or somebody else. But I sent my invites out. Let me know how the sound is. We are, tell me where you're checking in from, people on YouTube, tell me where you're checking in from. Facebook, tell me where you're checking in from. Let the people know. So we got 4 people in the room. I know Derek said hello. Who else is in here? You got, 2 minutes of check-in time before we get started on the topic. Do me a favor, hit that like and share. Invite somebody that, from Bible scholar to the church haters. I don't care. Dap is in the building. Okay, what's going on, sir? I hope you had a great weekend. Um, Not necessarily celebrating the 4th, but had a great weekend. Enjoy family. Till wifey has said, "What up?" Atlanta, Georgia, in the building. Atlanta, Georgia. I appreciate you, Derek. Um, do me a favor, hit one person and have them come up in here so we could talk. You know, no topics off limits. Just getting off. All right, cool, cool, cool. Be safe out there on the streets. The people still probably throwing out some fireworks, getting rid of the leftover fireworks. Um, it's like, I don't know. When I was younger, just fascinated with fireworks. Now, it really is not that big of a deal. Let's see what we got going on here. But I'll let the time expire and we'll get into this topic. I do ask though, when y'all do submit these topics, and I let you know that I'm going to put your topic on the schedule, please show up. I know sometimes like, hey, you don't want nobody to know, and let me know that too. If you don't want nobody to know you're the one that's submitting this particular topic, I'm cool with that too. I can do it anonymously or what have you, but just participate. Just don't throw out ideas and then you disappear into the woods somewhere. At least do that. Is that asking for too much, or what's going on? Blues Gourmet Kitchen in the building. Uncle Boo's or Uncle Blue. No, it's Uncle Boo. Uncle Boo's Catfish Corner. Representing entrepreneurship. Got like 3-4 trucks doing this thing. Nothing but respect for you. Nothing but respect. But I need you to get your Bible hat on tonight. I know you know scripture. And we're going to be talking about one tonight. This is a topic someone submitted to me. And as soon as the time, it looks like it just went off. Let me double check here. The time is up. Yep, so we're going to get into this topic that was submitted for Mondays, because Mondays is religious spiritual topics on Mondays. And the topic is, and it was hard for me to get a good, title for it. It was way too long at first, but I got it down to acceptance in Black Church, LGBT versus Black Republicans. Why is LGBT more accepted in the Black Church over the acceptance of a Black Republican? It's a heavy hitter. I was like, ooh, how do I title this one? This one's going to be interesting. But that's what we're talking about tonight. The acceptance of the LGBT, the greater acceptance of the LGBT over Black Republican. What say you guys? What's going on, Bruce? Appreciate you checking in. We just announced the topic. We are talking about the acceptance, or why the acceptance in the Black Church is more for the LGBT than it is for a Black Republican. And I have my thoughts on that, but would like to let y'all get an opportunity to say what y'all think about it. What do y'all think? Derek, Dap, Blue, what y'all think about that? Hopefully my YouTube is working right. See anybody jumping in there. But it did act up the other day. So okay. While I wait on y'all to hit y'all topic, your thoughts, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. One, to me, is the lesser of two evils, if you want to call that. Is that easier to say? Is that for the most part, black Republicans are a bigger threat, in my opinion, than LGBT. You know, because I mean, when I tell people about as far as politics and my stance on politics, is that the most of my views are conservative, other than the fact that most Republicans are racist, if not all of them. Because they were like, oh, not all of them are. When you sat up there and voted for Trump and said you did not see any racism, you are the problem. You are that racist. Just because you say you're not racist don't mean you are not racist. And for all my little, stalking haters that I have that just sit around, can't stand me, but can't stop watching. Yeah, I'm talking about you. The media got us programmed. Okay, the media got you programmed to hate black Republicans more than we should, or like the LGBT more than we should. A little bit of both combination, maybe. Um, what you say, Blue? What you say? Um, because I mean, I definitely say I have to admit that there's parts of the LGBT community that I am envious of because they have so many things that they're so powerful. I mean, literally, the Republicans say nothing about LGBT in comparison to what they say about blacks. That's how powerful the LGBT is. They're very powerful, you know. But black Republicans, not so much. Not so much. You got what is it, the Tim Scotts and the Herschel Walkers, you know, who have no business on a mic at all. They should never be allowed to speak in public. Um, they said Ben Carson, him too, with his sleepy behind. Like, I don't know how old Ben Carson is, but he sound 95. Because if it wasn't for racism, I'd be a Republican. Because other than that, I don't see a lot of things that I agree with democratically. It just I can't be for the the Willie Lynch, the Jim Crow, the it's okay to be racist because I'm too fearful. Nah. Yeah, I agree with you said. I think the LGBTQ is identified less of a threat to blacks. Um, Not to say there aren't a whole bunch of racist people in the LGBT community. Gotcha, I understand, but you haven't been in the church in a while, um, and I want to think I did have an idea about that, but you're no stranger to it, and maybe um, when you were in church, you probably didn't have that experience because depending on the denomination or whatnot, would there be any um, life, experiences that you actually seen firsthand? If that, because it's really within the last 5-10 years, in my opinion, that it's starting to get really amped up. Politics Gaming is in the building. Yo, man, we got to do a collab in the future. Appreciate you, man. He said, do you feel Democrats do enough for black community, or do you feel the betrayal? Do you feel they are betraying them with each passing election cycle? Ooh, you kind of sound like my boy, Mind Games Uncut. Um, Let me answer the first question. The first question, no. I don't believe they're doing enough. I don't believe they've done enough. I do believe they have the potential to, but we have to put the feet to the fire on that. Second question, do you feel they're betraying them with each passing election? Somewhat, somewhat. Because if you keep saying you want to support and we're thinking about this and that, and then you keep giving us trinkets, you know, but yet going out overboard for the LGBT and the Asian community, yeah, it feels like a betrayal. Said if the Bible is against the lifestyle, why accept it? Very good point. Very good question, and I'm gonna answer that one. And most of y'all know I'm an ordained deacon, so I'm not a stranger to it. Okay, so that's where I'm speaking from. You know, that I believe, you know, one of the factors that are bringing in people, because it's been around for the longest, they always say, well, they've been there and all that good stuff. Why they're being so okay with the lifestyle now is that people within these organizations are getting very greedy. So they're using the stance of, well, you know, if we can bring them in, maybe we can influence them to understanding the errors of their lifestyle. As well, Jesus went out and spoke to the sinners and they actually called them publicans and the tax collectors and things like that. But they missed the part where Jesus didn't behave like them. Didn't behave in those different things when he was speaking to them, saying you reach the lost, you don't become the lost with the lost. That's the part they're missing. And a lot of times, like I said, the agreed part of it is the more seats, the more people you got in the pews and the seats, the more revenue you can bring in. You know, when you have these mega churches and things like that, where you can almost see that they're catered. Another example, another factor in that, if you have a particular congregation makeup, you will see pastors start to cater their sermons towards that specific, not, you know, that, hey, I'm addressing this group of people with the truth. They're just addressing this group of people because it's something this group will like to hear. So this group will continue coming and get fed in this non-truth or this crap because they're making them feel better. That's a kind of I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more specific on that. You asked what are my thoughts on Black Lives Matter. If you're talking about the organization, I know very little, other than what people complain about and critique and say they're not really that, because the LGBT community is really strong in it, and it was started by two black lesbians or whatever. Don't have a lot of information on that. I'm not really concerned about that. But I do believe Black Lives Matter. And I do believe Black Lives Matter stands for, if blacks are going to continue to get murdered by police and have no accountability because the lives of black people are worse or less than dogs and animals, I have a problem with that. We have to say Black Lives Matter, because some people don't understand that blacks are humans as well. You shouldn't have to tell them, well, you know, would you be upset if that happened to a white person? Oh, well, wait a minute. Yes, I'll be upset then. It shouldn't be no confusion on that. Politics weren't really discussed at church either. Most of this must be new. Yeah, I would believe that. I agree. It wasn't around like that. Hold on, I'm sorry. I have to figure out why this thing is scrolling. Get out of the way. Get back up. I don't know how to. No, that's not what I want to do. Can you just scroll up? You said, LF Facts, when I went there, wasn't a lot of this to speak of. Firstly, people weren't really out of the closet, so it didn't present itself as an issue. Right. He said, plus you have LGBTQ are members in churches. Yes, because, I mean, people was always, like, looking at the choir director as being extremely feminine, like, he looked kind of suspect. You know, and you see these more progressive, non-denominational churches where the directors are really flamboyant. They're wearing super tight jeans, spandexy, you know, weird looking outfits to kind of like be a prima donna sometimes. Um, Gotcha. You say you agree. I feel the message is on point, but the organization is trash. Yeah, I mean, and I can't knock that. I don't. I just don't like people saying, okay, well, because that organization is trash, I should never say Black Lives Matter, or Black Lives shouldn't matter because this organization is whatever it is. I think it's just an excuse for racists to continue saying we don't care about what's going on with blacks, and I'll never be on that. Never be on that tip. He said, I don't think the black churches give their members a choice. Seems like they force their members to vote Democrat. That is not true, at least for my experience. Even when I'm like, I would love to be like, look, within this last election, I guess after Trump won, I've been a little bit more aggressive. But even before then, it's like, look, vote, speak your mind. I know there's a couple of people on my show that are black Republicans. And I'm like, I don't like it. I respect you, but I don't like it. Because there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And I don't feel like I'm forcing somebody to vote Democrat, but there's no excuse for a black person to vote Republican. None. Because at first I'd be like, yeah, I could see one reason being their faith. Because there's a lot of stuff within the Democratic Party that goes against our faith. Got nothing about it. But when they sit up there and look you dead in the eye and say they cannot see the racism, the level of racism within the Republican Party, you lost me. You're doing some Sambo Uncle Tom stuff. I'm just saying, Derek, for real. And like I said, when the Republicans say nothing about LGBT, that just tell you how bad they are as far as hating blacks. Like, they should have ate that up. If you're so conservative and so family oriented, why you ain't saying nothing about the LGBT? Why? Because you still have senators molesting little boys, molesting little girls in the Republican Party. So they're okay with the lifestyle stuff. They're just not okay with the skin color. Yeah, I don't know who and how they got started. As far as I thought it was like, wow, that's something different. It's not like, I just started, being pro-black this year or last year. But when that first came out, it was like, that's kind of catchy. So again, a lot of times I challenge people who are always talking about, well, Black Lives Matter is this and now that. Where's your organization? Where's your organization that's pro-black and doing what you need to do? But they're quick to talk about somebody else and what they're not doing. Like, if you can do better, do it. Stop talking about it, do it. Or shut up. So Black Lives Matter does matter. The organization to me is not organic enough. The Republican Party is very hypocritical. And that's incorrect. I'm going to read what you said, but I'm going to have to light you up, Bruce. I'm going to have to light you up. It was a Democrat who passed the three-strike law. And who you think there was targeting. Let's break this down. Because that's the thing that is like, without knowledge, our people will perish. Because that's incorrect. During that time, you may not have been old enough to know, but during that time, I think Ishan talked about it on his live. There was a lot of crime. Orchestrated by the government, but there was a lot of crime happening to kind of fit the mold to have everybody focused. That was a platform for everybody, Republican and Democrat. But we always want to have this one-sided vision of like it was only Democrats actually, caring about this three-strike law. Both Democrats and Republicans had that, and back me up on this politics game, and I know you know this. Both Democrats and Republicans were on their platform. They talked about more crime bills, more law and order, all kind of stuff. That everyone was tougher than the next person. You know, and the biggest thing on Democrats is they're not tough on crime. They're not tough on law. So Biden, Clinton, and all of them were like, no, we can show we are not what the Republicans say they are. When this three-strike law that they claim at first was Clinton's rule, was Clinton's bill. And that was something to knock Clinton. Everybody voted for that bill. Only three, I think it was like 3 or 4 people did not want that bill to happen. And I think it was half and half. I think it was 4 people that didn't vote. 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Everybody else voted for that law to be in place. To include the Black Caucus of Jesse Jackson and all these black civil rights leaders were okay with this. Because crime was out of control and they thought that would do something to deter it. But we lose our memory over the years, and if once it changed from Clinton, then it went to Biden's bill because he was very vocal about it, or he was the architect of it. But nobody was saying Biden when Clinton was running. Both Bill and Hillary. Both of them, and when Obama was running, it's the Clinton bill. That's why we shouldn't vote for Democrats, because of the Clinton bill. As soon as Biden runs, it's the Biden bill. And got blacks saying, yeah, these Democrats don't care about us. Have you been paying attention for the last 12 years? Because last time I checked, the last 4 years, blacks weren't safe. Because he was one of the people that voted. I'm going to read it before I answer this question. If that was the case, then why did Biden apologize? Because he was a part of it. But why are y'all not asking why none of the rest of them Republicans and Democrats apologize? Now, he's wrong for apologizing, but they're not wrong for not apologizing. Their name is on that bill. Look it up. This 3-strike law, look who voted for it. And is anyone saying, why didn't you apologize for locking up blacks? Rudy Giuliani and the other mayors in New York that were stopping and frisking. That's a good question. Are you more threatened, are you more threatened by a black Republican or a black conservative? Let me ask you, before I answer that, so I can answer that properly, what is the difference between a black Republican and a black conservative? So to better answer your question, I'm answering your question with a question, but I want to be able to, answer properly your question of, am I threatened more by a black Republican or a black conservative? I don't want to assume what you mean by that. But yeah, so when people can't, separate being a black Republican, when you know good and well having conversations with certain people, they get a little arrogant and think they can say some things out the side of the neck, and we're just, gonna, I can't even say that word, going to kiss their behinds because of it. Uh-oh, we're losing losing people. Did I lose y'all? Okay, gotcha. I was trying to ask you what is the difference between black Republican and black conservative, so I could better answer your question. You hear a lot of static? Hold on. Yeah, what is that? Hello? Tested 1, 2. Yeah, stop. Okay. Appreciate that, Bruce. I don't know what that was. I'm looking all around like, what the? I guess you have black Republicans because of the Lincoln during that time. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody kind of slipped out for a quick minute. Um, but I mean, um, when you say black Republican versus black conservative, and also you mentioned Lincoln, it's like a lot of Republicans try to lay their hat on. Um, well, the Republicans are the ones that got the slaves freed. The Northern Republicans, yes, because most of the Republicans were from the North, because it used to be a North versus South, and then the Democrats are all from the South, and all were slave owners. Um, The Northerners didn't have no use for slaves. Don't mean they weren't racist, but at the same time, there's been a shift. You know, because it's not Democrats trying to defend all these Confederate statues and things like that. It's Republicans. So they're so pro-black. Where they're at? What actions are they doing that show that? Other than saying, the Democrats created the KKK. Clown. What's going on, sir? What's going on, young buck? The topic tonight is acceptance in the black church is greater for LGBT versus black Republicans. Why is that? Why is that? Patricia, that was her name. Couldn't forget her. I couldn't remember her name. You said you do not know, you do not mingle with them. Which one, the LGBT or the black Republicans? You said with both. Got you. So I mean, but that was the topic. They feel that there's more of an acceptance in the black church for LGBT than it is for black Republicans. And to me, I mean, like I said, I know some black Republicans that um, I try to give them a benefit of the doubt because of their faith, and they're like, yes, I cannot do this because my faith won't allow me to be okay with the LGBT lifestyle. But when they sit up there and say, well, that to me is better than, getting lynched and being okay with that and all that, I don't agree with that at all. Don't agree with that at all. But that's just me. I mean, to each his own. You have to choose your battles, pick your battles, that kind of thing. And that's one that you are not willing to fight. I can't say nothing to that. Good luck with that. That's pretty much all I can say. What's lies? Not sure what three playbacks means, but let me know you're in the room, politics gaming. Got up to 5 people. Oh yeah, them craziness. Um, and it's crazy. Whenever there was a Republican, and it wasn't just Trump, it was Bush too, and yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Both Bush and not Reagan, but Trump had um, preachers and things saying you should not ever, you know, um, you should respect the leadership because that's what Scripture says. Until Obama was in president, then all of a sudden you don't have to do none of that stuff. For 8 years, they didn't have to do any of that stuff, but they don't want to be called racist. Yeah, that stuff where it just exposed them more for all the foolishness and how many millions of people follow those clowns. Um, what is her name? I can't remember her name, but the one, the Angels of Africa, the Angels of Africa, and the other guy that was blowing COVID away because he's got the power of the breath of God, so he can just blow it away on the mic, spitting on the mic. Shay, what's going on? I thought I was gonna miss you on this one. The word for the day: LGBT versus Black Republican. Why is it Paula White? That's her non-rhythmic behind. But Kenneth Copeland, him, yep, them two. Black Republicans versus LGBT. Why are LGBT more accepted in the black church over Black Republicans? Um, but mm-mm. No, don't play around. You scratched me last time. I'm gonna beat you behind. You hear me? Do not scratch me. Smokey just got to be a part of the show. I don't know if y'all can hear him purring. Yeah, they are two demons. I mean, Kelly Copeland kind of looked like a demon. Not trying to pick on him over Paula White, you know. But you don't think gays or bis are not accepted in the church? You might want to check again. It's not a dog; it's a cat. um, mm-mm. You said the LGBT has been minding their business for a long time. Those politics have used the church as a format for the success, promising things they'll never deliver. They never forget. They forget the church when they make it. Yep. Look, who you kicking? I'm gonna beat you. No, don't play. Are you trying to show out? Yeah, I'm looking at you. Uh-huh. Don't you do it. I will pop you. He said, and a good choir. He said, you feel that the LGBT community has accepted their hidden place in society, but mainstream America is sticking its filthy paws in their lifestyle. What do you mean sticking their paws in the lifestyle? Hmm? like the headset. We don't like the headset. All these people, so I can't see. There we go. All right, it's time. Time to go. Watch your hands. Watch your hands. Nope. Nope. Go down. Yeah, she coming to get you. Whew. All right, so I'm trying to read your comment here. I don't know why it kind of fades away. Are you saying 50 paws because of my cat? Nah. Back in the day, I think of how many people were suspected of being gay, but never went to the limits of these people today. Not saying that it was right then, but those people looking for a cause reached inside of for financial purposes only. These Me Too LGBT members have made a mockery of the lifestyle. Now back at these politicians, you can get them to come to a regular event unless it benefits them. They even come to barbecues in high-dollar suits and feel that their status should speak for them. I have no argument for that. Polly to pray. Tim Grimm's wife, don't take that church. I'm not sure who that is. Reva, take that church from Paula White. Reva. Reva who? Paula White and Benny Thin in Hawaii. Yeah, by curious. That's a lot of mess right there. The cat does want airtime, I tell you what. I'm just glad he didn't scratch the heck out of me. I beat his butt last time. But they're babies, so you gotta be like, okay. Is that a person, Reva Timms? I don't know who that person is. How many politicians have you seen visit communities they campaigned in after the fact? I will be having a candidate soon, pretty soon. We were supposed to do one this past Friday, but had to reschedule. I'll let y'all know when I have that guy on, and that's something I told him. It's like we can't have these. Oh, you telling me all this stuff now, and then you get elected and you disappear. I'm still trying to reach out to Warnock, but I think it's corny. He said, "What do you think of the NFL player coming out?" I'm like, why do we need to know that? Just to get you some airtime? I mean, you're already a good enough player to make it in the NFL. Who cares? Thank you, thank you. He said, because I mean, I'm gonna have my student hat. I told him then it's like I'm gonna be taking notes, asking questions, because I do need to get more informed. I'm tired of hearing all these people. Oh, Democrats ain't doing nothing for us. Let's go for the Republicans. For what? Because the Republicans are doing something? No, but okay, then you don't really have an answer. There's another black player that was rejected for this reason. Yeah, but that black player was garbage. It wasn't for that reason. He sucked. I guarantee you, if he could play, they could care less about him being LGBT. I mean, they could have, I'm not going to say there's going to be people that wouldn't have a problem with it. Yeah, there's going to be people that have a problem with it. Appreciate that, Bruce. But Sam something, or something Sam, but he was a garbage player. He was good in college, but that was it. Oh Lord, I gotta get a new designer, or I might come up with my own stuff. But somebody was supposed to help me design the boxes, but haven't gotten around to it. He was not good. He was not good. He was good on a very bad Missouri team, but they were always had which it was surprising that he wasn't as good as he could have been. because typically Missouri had some pretty good defensive ends, but or defensive line period. But he was terrible. I mean, they gave him tryout after tryout. I mean, he tried on with the Dallas. I think the Rams are the ones that drafted him. But it was only because he came out with that, and people were like, "Oh, we get to get some of this press by drafting him." Nah, they ain't a hater. He just sucked. This white guy, he's actually pretty good. You know, it's like he got to deal with his locker room though. Do you think if the pastor's child comes out, should he step down? No, no. I would say he should step down if, and I know it's a trick question you say. She said, do you think if the pastor's child comes out, should he step down? No. The only reason I would say he would need to step down if he's like, what my son is doing is not a sin. If he says that, he needs to sit his behind down. But you cannot control what another person does. You know, there's no force field saying, hey, you're my son, you'll do what I say, and nothing else. If it was just that simple, no. You know, we have the freedom of choice, and we're going to make choices, and they have consequences, both good and bad. They did. They gave him too many choices. They didn't give Kaepernick a chance. They gave him too many chances. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give Kaepernick a chance because of their racist behinds. I'm just saying. Yes, you're right. God gave us free will. And I mean, and I'm not denying that the church hides mess, but that is, if you are going to, like I said, depend on what you believe in. Because some people go to church and don't believe a word that's in the Bible. So, you know, to them, they may look at it like, what's the big deal? Because they don't believe anything. I mean, what was it like, the Dwayne Wade family? What do you mean? Right, but what does that have to do with, you know, sitting the pastor down if he's okay with his son coming out and saying he is of that lifestyle? Nothing. Okay, gotcha. What if it was like the Dwayne Wade family, where the pastor is Dwayne Wade, or did what Dwayne Wade did? Oh yeah, he had to sit down. Sit down. Have a seat, sir. You are not speaking truth. That'll be a problem. That'll be a problem. He said, what if the pastor's child was younger and he was encouraging his son like Dwayne Wade was? Your question to that is why? Why would I think that is wrong? Would you be okay with a doctor telling you he never went to the med school, but he always wanted to be a doctor, so he is going to perform this life-saving surgery on you? Would you be okay with that? Same thing with this. If you're not walking what you are preaching, you need to sit down. If you're telling everybody in the congregation homosexuality is an abomination, but then turn around and telling your son, go ahead, do what you feel. Don't care how bad it is, do what you feel. You need to sit down. You said you don't think so, you disagree. Disagree to what? They do it anyway. I mean, my thing is a lot of times the preacher's kid has this notoriety that they're the ones that act up the most. Whether it's out of rebellion because of the pressure of being a preacher's kid, but they're usually the ones that are mainly acting up, doing some craziness. Okay, wait a minute. Time out. You said, but that's his human element in his personal life. Whose human element and whose personal life? Jackson, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. You know, we're about to close out. Got about 5 minutes left. You said they are. I am an A-OK kid. They are. I am an A-OK. I'm not sure what you're trying to get with that. But it sounds like you are pro LGBT. Am I not? Am I correct, Amshay? No, he's not being a supportive father to his child. He's actually being the opposite. He's been actually being the opposite. You know? Because that same thing can be applied to a lot of things, and it's detrimental. You know, it's like, okay, hey, your son wants to smoke crack. I can't tell you no, because then I wouldn't be supportive. But now you're strung out on crack, and you OD. That's a supportive father? Oh, you said you are a PK kid. Got you. Autocorrect is getting you tonight, Joseph. Okay, got you. That makes sense because you wildin'. You wildin'. You do some wildin' stuff over here, PK kid. You said very pro, although you're not. Got you. And I mean, my thing is, as much as I do not agree with the lifestyle, I am not a proponent of any type of physical violence or things like that to that. If they would acknowledge that it's not born that way and it's a choice, do what you want to do. Some people like red, some people like blue. It's a choice. But when they're like, oh, they can't help yet want somebody to take all these hormones to change what they are. If you're born that way, you're born that way. You don't need no hormones for that. But we really got people thinking, hey, you know, this boy wants to be a girl, like in the Dwayne Wade situation. A boy wants to be a girl because that's what he feels, and he's being supportive. No, not as a child. Not as a child. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, not saying what's going on, Walter. Not saying what someone else should do in their household. But no one could come into my household and tell me what I should do as the king in my household. You know, if you ask me my opinion, I think he's weak as I don't know what. But that's his household. I mean, he's actually come out of his mouth and said he doesn't run his household. The wife runs the household. So, and that he doesn't believe a man should run a household. He believes a woman should run the household. That's him. I don't agree with that. Not related though. Okay, got you. You said your life not a choice, Freddie. We'll agree to disagree. You said, how would you receive a fellow deacon coming out to you? I mean, it would depend. I mean, it won't change my stance. It wouldn't be something where like, oh, since I know this guy, we fellowshiped together, known him for a while, what have you, that all of a sudden now I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're born that way. And I believe that God is wrong and that it's not a sin and that we need to rewrite the Bible. No, that's not going to happen. You know, still love him, but address the fact that he is not right. He's not correct. You see, it all depends on what they do after they come out. Okay. Yes, because just like you asked about the pastor thing, as a deacon coming out saying you do that, you have to sit down. you are no longer a deacon. You no longer fulfill the capacity of being a deacon. I don't know. I'm sure there's a restoration, just like there's restoration for pastors. But while you practice that lifestyle, you can't do both. You know. I mean, I would advise him to step down, and I would recommend for him to step down. Um, I don't believe a deacon has the authority. I'm not sure. I have to do some research on that to see if a deacon has the authority to command another deacon to step down or whatever, other than voicing his opinion. Um, being born with both is neither. Yeah, well, that's a touchy subject right there. You know what I mean? Because then, what do you mean? You just get to pick? Yeah, LGBT is a choice. Hermaphrodite is not. Um, but I don't know a lot about that because I mean, who's to say you're just saying that and you don't really have those things and it's just an excuse to choose what you want to be. Um, at what point are you judging? Um, when you are telling someone um, they can no longer be associated with you, that they're worthless, they are, not worthy of even a conversation. To me, that's judging. You know, um, I don't have the power to put nobody in heaven or hell. You know, um, but there has got to be some accountability. You know, choices have good consequences, choices have bad consequences, and too often than not, we want to just say we can do anything we want and do it however we want to do it, and there's no consequence to it. And if you say there's a consequence to it, people jump to, oh, you're judging. Only God can judge. Like they talk to God, and He's like, yeah, continue doing what you're doing. I'm good with that. Oh shoot, I'm a little bit over. But we definitely, yes, that is God's job. Um, we're gonna have to continue this at another time. I appreciate you, Shay, and Walter, Joseph, Politics Gaming. Um, kind of had a religious and politics on the same day, but Dap was in here, Bruce was in here. Appreciate y'all. Derek Thomas was in here. Um, I have allowed that on several occasions. She asked me would I let a doctor who practices that lifestyle service me. Yes, I have. You know, but he was a qualified doctor, not just because I want to, specifically pick that person. Um, but I appreciate y'all. Good to see you as well. Do me a favor, share and like on Instagram. I'm not sure how to do that. If y'all are better at that. But remember, you don't have to think like me, but you do have to think. You're never too old to learn. You're never too young to teach. Love y'all. There's nothing y'all can do about it. We'll have a topic Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the Tabitha Brown, Wendy Williams situation. You don't want to miss it. Hopefully, we can air out some things. Shout out to Tabitha Brown. She's doing some big things. Awesome. She got a new fan. I've seen her in passing from time to time, but her video and her response to Wendy Williams was insane. Very powerful. And we're going to be talking about it Wednesday. So, See y'all guys Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love y'all. Something y'all can do about it. Chico out.